because the last thing you want to do is start withdrawing care too quickly, you know, because then you end up passing away when you could get possibly weeks, months if you do improve. But I have no way of saying what those chances are. And that's what makes this really hard, is how long would we want to be in this kind of state?
Right.
I don't know. Well, with them, at least getting a little help from the outside. Which right now there's being covered with my granddaughter and Chuck. And of course she does a good job, but Chuck is he's hey, over here, hating this. So I don't know, that's the reason I know the way they work. They seem to work out real well. So I said, well, I'll just go with them.
Okay.
So in fact today I was ready to go ahead and call them. Because then I forgot you were coming over, so I told you that. I'll call them tomorrow or later on today.
How long would you want to live like this?
I don't know. Right now, we got a couple of family type things I'd like to live until that's over with and resolved. But after that, it's hard to care less.
Would you be okay with dying?
Yeah.
Would you be okay with dying sooner than you could have died?
Not reasonable care, yeah.
Okay. So if I gave you the option of living like this for 1 or 2 months more, or dying in several days, which one would you prefer?
Dying in what stages?
In a day or two, or living like this for 2 months?
Oh. I guess 2 months.
Okay. That helps make decisions.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if we end up in this weird limbo, which I think is highly likely, that we're in this kind of not doing well but not dying acutely, we're kind of left with a weird decision to make of, do we become less aggressive and possibly die a lot sooner, or do we stay acting fairly aggressively to try and see how long can we go until we worsen?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
The good thing is, I don't need to force you to make that decision, but that is kind of the decision that's on the table of how long would we stay in this state before we finally say it's not worth trying to get any more time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Dr. Frank, are you, his time is going to be spent in here or at home?
This is the question. If we were to be able to get the oxygen to a point where he could do home hospice or transfer to home hospice, then he would probably, if you were going to do hospice, then he would probably go home. The big question is, how stable would we be at that point? Are we only going to be stable enough to barely get home? Are we going to be stable enough to get home and live for a day or two? Or are we going to be stable enough to be at home and be in a similar state where we're kind of in that limbo of,
So really, this oxygen thing has to be fixed.
yes, I would think so.
I mean,
I would want 100% confirmation from home hospice, but I'm quite certain the amount of oxygen he's at is not something you would be able
because
to do
I
at
could
home.
see that, you know, he wants to hang around as long as he can, and he really didn't want to do it here.
He didn't want to do it here, but there's another question is, I mean, you're saying maybe 2 months, limbo, whatever, maybe it might not be that long, but would they keep him here and keep fighting here? Would they transfer him to a in-home hospice?
This depends. If we want to actually just do hospice, an in-home hospice,
Like,
the big
would they
question is,
transfer him to the center, whatever is here?
the options are stay here, do everything, don't really do hospice, or you can kind of do like palliative medicine but not full hospice. Do everything here where you keep doing antibiotics, keep doing steroids, keep doing high flow until you're stable enough to transfer out somehow. Do inpatient hospice where you go to a hospice house. They could probably do a higher amount of oxygen there, a more intensive therapy, and that's one where you probably wouldn't be limiting your life as much as you could be with going home on a much lower oxygen amount. And it might also give you a chance to improve some more where you could get to home, but you're not going to be stuck in the CCU for a very long period of time. That's a nice middle ground, which I think is probably the most appropriate if we're going to be considering hospice, because you can still get more intensive care and probably get more time rather than just saying, "Now let's just go home," and even if we can't be very stable, because that you could be really cutting things a lot shorter theoretically. The other thing is if you're going to inpatient hospice, being very clear about trying to be very aggressive with oxygen rather than just saying, it's okay if we go low and pass away sooner. Because sometimes they'll just say, are you uncomfortable? No, and the oxygen sometimes a lot lower than you would want, depending on the nurses and how things go.
Yeah.
Yep, I just called once Stacy.
Not comprehending. Call who? What do you want me to call?
Hospice.
Like Ray? Like Wren Hospice?
Yeah.
I told you what they could do. They could
Yeah.
only do the 10 liters and piggyback another 10, so they can only do 20. So if we're going to go that route, then our goal is to get you down to 20 liters in here first.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've been talking to them. So we have to get you.
You
probably-
got to
high
get
flow,
stable here,
too.
Dad.
You probably want to be stable on 20 liters for a good amount of time too, because
This is the only way.
Stay away.
It's the only way. You got to get stable here with your oxygen.
it's going to be
Before all
difficult.
this
Yeah.
happened, absolutely no hospice house. You're not going to be here in West Kingston with Abby.
What do you all think about what the plan should be?
I think he wants to